Hello and welcome to PMCLounge.com. I have with me a special guest today. His name is Mehboob. Mehboob, thank you so much for taking the time out. He's recently cleared his
Hi,
PMP
Shrey.
exam.
Hi, Shrey. Thanks a lot for giving me this opportunity to share my, experience with the current and future PMP aspirants.
Absolutely. And I made a mistake there. I said recently, but I believe you cleared your exam last September. Is that correct?
Yes, last September,
Okay.
2021.
So it's been some time, and I believe you've had your fair share of going over what were your learnings and reflect back upon everything that has happened beyond PMP as well, how that has helped in your career and your day-to-day job. So let's start off. Actually, let's talk about if you could brief yourself about your experience, about your career so far. Please go ahead.
Sure. I'm basically Bachelor of Mechanical Engineering by profession. However, like currently I'm a IT industry since almost 10 years. And my company basically in stock market industry is a sort of order management system. We have our full-fledged trading brokerage platform. We develop our own software and all over across the bank here. By the way, I am based in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia, and our company have regional offices all across the GCC plus in Sri Lanka. So as I said, we are having our own trading platform, and all the banks and brokers here in Saudi, they are using our software to do their trading investment. And what my job is, I'm working as IT support manager. I have a support engineer and developer working under my supervision. So all the bugs, all the day-to-day issues which are being reported by each client. So depending on the nature of issue and the severity level to meet SLA relief time goal, I am completely coordinating as a part of my support team.
Great.
This is just my brief introduction.
Sure. I mean, I appreciate you taking up the time and giving us that introduction. Just wanted to add one thing here. In one of my previous job roles, I was responsible for one of the softwares that we used to deliver. It was basically a software product. And one of the functions of that product was to synchronize time across all the virtual machines. And NASDAQ was one of our clients. And that's when I got to know how important it is for all virtual machines to have the same time, especially if you're dealing in stock market, right? And I believe there would be a lot of similar challenges in your job roles and the kind of things that you deal with. Even microseconds count.
The example which you have given is one of them. Sometimes if it do happen, for example, when from the stock order management system, when they try to send the heartbeat, there is a mismatch in our timing and their timing, but that not quite often. We do have different kind of issues. Sometimes client having buying power, they have power to buy, but system is showing them they cannot. So those kind of thing, but every minute, every seconds count in our work, which we are doing right now.
Absolutely. Yeah, it is definitely a challenging environment. And before we start talking about stock market itself, let's move back to our original topic about the PMP certification. So any specific reason why you decided to take up the PMP certification, especially because there are so many other certifications available out there, right? Any specific reason that you opted for PMP?
Yeah, as a matter of fact, I had 2 video sessions earlier at, with 2 other instructor. So I told both of them, I said my PMP journey started way back in 2016. So it took almost 5 years. Why? Interestingly, during this 5 years, I completed ITIL Foundation certification, IBM Cybersecurity Associate Professional certification. But when it's come to PMP, I would say I was not completely focusing myself. Since I'm in a service industry, my job role is basically service management. So my GM, And one of my colleague, because part of our day-to-day business is having a project, new development, new enhancement. So we have our PM office available. So from my side, I used to be part of the project team at resource management during UAT, before go live. So I was like little bit associated with the PM team, but not directly as a PM. So my GM, he suggested that, Mehboob, since you are having a good service management experience, why don't you also consider to be align yourself with project management? That will be a good assess for our company. That was the thing which triggered me. So it started with the first quarter of January first quarter 2021. I decided, you know what, let's go ahead with PMP.
I like that answer because one of the things that I keep telling a lot of people that come to me and they're starting their PMP journey, or those who are in the middle of that 5-year period that you mentioned, right? Have been preparing for 2.5 years now. When I speak to people like these, I tell them that one thing that PMP requires is commitment. And you mentioned focus, but you have to be very, very committed, that you need to set deadlines and then you need to start studying, or else it will go on, your preparation will go on and on, and like I said, you lose focus, life happens, you have a lot of work to do. And so that is one of the things which is very, very important, to be committed. And I know there are like half of the people that I speak to have those issues where they've changed their jobs, or they are into some other training, or something has broken up and they need to focus on a different project and stuff like this. So I mean, life happens and that is what it is. But as compared to other certifications, PMP is one such certification that requires absolute commitment. That's a fact. Yes. Now let's talk about your preparation itself, and especially after you decided that you were going to take it up and get done with it. What were the resources that you used? What were the books that you read? Tell us about that.
Yes, see, I would like to share with you, like during the course of my preparation and in studies, because initially, definitely as a new PMP preparation, you will have loads of information available all across the internet, while a lot of my colleagues, they also completed, but everybody have their own mindset and your interest. Maybe one of the instructor, you are pretty okay with him, but I may not be okay with him. It's a style of delivering. Not you. You are perfectly very smart guy. The way you first, the good thing which I like about you, your friendly style of delivering even a complex topic. You explain in such a nice manner. So I started with you are asking about the books, Agile Practice Guide. You have to study that book page by page. Very, very good book, and I would say guide, and that will definitely help you to understand the exam content for your exams. Second thing is, for PMBOK, to be honest with you, PMBOK, just initial 2 chapters I started, and I just was not able to continue because I found it, I would say most of the people, they are having hard time reading the PMBOK. So instead, I changed my style to online. Like I did Udemy courses, plus a lot of your lectures I attended, plus Eisenbridge. There is a gentleman named Saskit Bansal, very nice guy. And from Udemy, I took Joseph Phillips' course. And top of that, PM Prepcast, Cornelius Fisher, that is wonderful course he's offering. So my focus is Udemy, Cornelius Fisher, PM Prepcast, and your YouTube videos, plus Eisenbridge. And top of that, Agile Practice Guide. This was my complete focus.
Absolutely. You've just named some of the biggest names out there when it comes to project management. So, yeah, I mean, these people are masters of when it comes to project management. And
Yes,
absolutely. So,
yes.
that was, these were the kind of resources that you used. But when it comes to books, it was just Agile Practice Guide and some part of the PMBOK. That's all.
Yes. In the meantime, I just would like to add here, I'm putting my blog during the course of my studies, since a lot of new people will also be going to the same phase which I am going through. What I have done, I have made my own web blog. All the material which I explored during my course of studies, I have compiled all those information in my
Wow.
blog. So if you would like to, I have just shared the link in the chat box. So you can take a look later on. And if you would like to share with your viewers, I would be more than happy. So that blog contains not only reference books, the YouTube videos, which I personally watch. I found myself valuable. I use that link and include it in my web blog. So
Wow.
anyone who is starting just new, I'm sure that will be extremely helpful for those people to cut off their preparation time and focus. I'm not saying like these material which I have gathered is 100% valuable for other people. However, in my preparation, I found them very, very valuable. And plus, for example, if I watch 50 videos, out of 50 videos, I found 50s are valuable. I included those in my web blog. Apart from that, that exam simulator, that is also a very, very important tool. Everyone who is preparing for PMP exam must take it seriously. That exam simulator will be a very high value for you during the course of preparation.
Absolutely. So the link to the blog that Mehboob just mentioned will be available in the description. I'll also add a couple of links that we suggest, the resources that we suggest, as well as there's a page that we have that contains a list of all the topics that are uh, that you need to study for your PMP exam. So we have videos on all of them as well. So all those important links will be in the description, and you can definitely check that out. But you mentioned Agile Practice Guide in the beginning. How was your experience in studying agile? How do you think, how much knowledge is required for from the agile space for someone preparing for the PMP exam? I know the exam is now
See,
50 to 60% agile, but what was
I
your
would say
take?
more. No, no, no. No, it's Shreya, more than 50 to 60%. I found myself, I would say 70 to 80% agile questions in my exam. Yes, I'm
Mhm.
100% confident. And while you are asking me for how myself prepared for agile, see, when you are in a, I'm talking about my industry and the work which I'm doing. Uh, Agile basically is just a mindset, like things we are doing on a daily basis. However, we are not practicing as a seriously. But we have process in place, we have SOPs in place. As long as you become disciplined and become start practicing those SOPs, you are following agile. And the good thing, the best thing which agile is, encouraging team player, be a servant leader. Like if you have your colleague having difficult time handling any of the tasks, help them, share together. Not like this is your job, you have to do it. So this is what I understood, because my nature is also, I am extremely team player. Whenever my colleague and my subordinates, my peers, is not only work related, even personal matters. Sometimes I said, feel free to discuss. If you feel I can be of you any help, feel personal thing with you. Maybe I can give you some sort of help or advices which I have gone through in my life career. So this is my feeling when it's come to how you adapt and practice agile.
Absolutely, absolutely. Love that answer. And recently reading somewhere that business connections begin with personal connections, and you just nailed that in that answer. And you also talked about the mock PMP exams that you have taken. Any names that come to mind? I'm
See,
assuming
yeah,
they are mentioned in the blog that you shared the link of, but
yeah,
any names that come on
yeah,
top
I
of
have
mind?
in my blog, you will find out in order of, I would say, not priority, in order for importance, the value. So my top rated prep is for mock exam preparation is Cornelius Fisher PM Prep Cast. Why? I give you a very solid reason for that. In the meantime, I would like to add some sort of feedback for PMP preparation, new people. Whenever you are doing any mock exam, do not only focus on right answer, wrong answer. Even your right answer, you have to find out why you have selected right. In the description of your question, you have to understand the concept on scenario mentioned. Second thing is with the PM Prepcast, I like it. The explanation they have given for the right and as well as the wrong answer, absolutely brilliant. I would say I have learned more while studying the books rather than this practice mock exam simulator. I have made my own error logs. For example, if I've attended 300 questions, I have made my error log. For example, one time I have selected correct answer, but the same exam I did for the third or second time, I did it wrong. So I have maintained my error log, why I have selected the right answer, why I have selected the wrong answer. When you review your error logs after you completed your mock exam, that will give you sort of confidence level. Yes, this is the reason why I have selected correct. This is the reason why I have selected wrong answer. So mock exam or simulator, very, very important for anyone who is preparing for the PMP exam. So
Love that. Love that.
my first preferences is PM Prepcast, and second is there are good Udemy mock exams available, paid. I have mentioned in my web blog as well. So anyone can review on those mock exams simulator.
Loved it, and I really like the mention of the error log that you did there. Uh, that ties back to the first question that we were talking about, right? The commitment that it takes to get yourselves the PMP certification. Now let's talk about the certification. You're certified now. It's been more than, I believe, 6-7 months now that you have been certified.
Yes.
What changes do you think you are observing in yourself? Do you think you're a better project manager now that you have PMP?
See, I would say my style of business writing has changed. I'm
Mhm.
using those, buzzwords, which is very, very familiar in PMP collaboration and, teamwork and target, those kind of stuff. But since I told you, I'm more on a service industry, my like customer service kind of stuff, because my job role is to meet SLA when it's come to support thing. However, slowly, I'm moving towards a project management role. So I would say this certification definitely have given me a confidence to understand the discussion having during any project call, anything which is a part of the project management. So I immediately club those discussion with what I have learned in during my discussion with PM framework. So yes, this has definitely given me a sort of enhancement in my way of thinking, and plus the because in project management communication is that's it. You have to have a good communication at all levels. So this I have felt myself has improved tremendously.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, one of the, I would say, key areas that PMI focused on when they came up with PMP and the PMBOK guide itself was to have a universal language of project management. When you say your schedule is baseline, across the world, you're speaking to people from 4 different nationalities, but all of them understand
Yes.
what schedule baseline is, because we are speaking project management language. And that was
Yes.
one of the critical reasons of the establishment of PMI and the PMP certification itself. Now, we talked about how PMP has helped you in your career, and you also I was supposed to ask you, now that you look back, do you think anything, do you think of anything that you would have known earlier, it would have helped you with your preparation? But I think with the blog that you have added, that is something that people who are starting off can definitely look into and start their preparation. So let me move on. Let me ask you my last question. What are your top 3 tips for someone who's preparing for the PMP exam, except the fact that they should check your blog out?
Yes. See, first of all, start with a firm study plan. You have to stick with your firm objective and plan. I'll give you my example. It took me like a straight 3 to 4 months, 3 hours average on daily basis. I come to my home from office around 6 o'clock, 1 hour, just take a break and tea. From 7 my local time until 11 every single day for the next 3 to 4 months, because this PMP exam is required resilience. You have to compromise your family life as well. There was some sort of outing. My wife, but I would say my wife has supported me a lot during this 3 to 4 months period. So number one, with a firm study plan. Number two, solid preparation. Don't just study hard, study smart.
Mhm.
And this is what I felt during when I started my when I was became serious. Yes, I have to go for PMP. Initially, it took me so hard to find out the good stuff. So that really took so much of my time to find the quality stuff which is helpful for me for during the course of my studies. So this is number two, solid preparation. Number three, read, practice, practice, practice. Very, very important. The more you practice, the more confidence you have. And most importantly, you have to build resilience to sit for the 3 hours period straight. So that in most people found it very difficult to have a consistency. Stop your WhatsApp, stop your social activity during that time slot. Then only you will be in a I would say you will feel confidence in yourself. Yes, I'm prepared for the PMP exam.
As they say, humans now have the concentration power of a goldfish. Every 7 seconds, we want to distract ourselves. And when you're taking up an exam like PMP that requires you to sit for hours at a stretch, that definitely is something that takes practice, which was, of course, your last point. So, practice is definitely a must. So, thank you so much, Mehboob. Thank you for taking the time out. I'm pretty sure this is going to help a lot of the folks that are preparing for the PMP exam. And I appreciate you spending the time out.
Thank you so much, Shoaib. Thanks again. You have given me this opportunity. I really am very thankful to you. Nice to meet you. Nice to see you live. Thank
Same
you.
here.